Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Absolutely Podcast, the podcast specifically designed to help women defeat diet culture and live their dream healthy lifestyle. Today's episode, I am going to be raw and real and honest about my thoughts on Ozempic. And this is something I really haven't talked about on my fitness platforms. And I think it's time. A lot of people have been chatting about it. It's been all over the news and social media and stuff. And I think that I want to share my 2 cents on it. And this is not going to be a chat where I just completely just dog on Ozempic either. Like, I want this to be a very constructive chat and giving you my honest thoughts because I have talked to a lot of women that are on Ozempic, have been on Ozempic, and I feel like I have some good just opinions on this and what to do if you are thinking about it, coming off of it, or you're just like overall just curious on the lore of Ozempic. So that's going to be the bulk of the episode today. I do want to do a weekly catch up because last week I did not post an episode. I just got to Friday, honestly, and I just did not have the emotional or just overall energy to record a podcast, to be honest. And that's all I'll say about that. But I am really excited for the podcast episode this week because I'm going to be talking about my weekly catch up and then going into this chat. And I honestly wasn't quite sure what I wanted to even talk about today. I was like, I have no thoughts going across my brain. I feel like it's just been, that's how my brain's been the past week or so. But I'm excited to chat about it and honestly just have like a raw, real, open conversation and just chat like girl to girl. So let's first talk about weekly catch up and what I've been up to this past week. So honestly, it's been a lot of just working and appointments. All of my appointments collided into these 2 weeks. My hair appointment got rescheduled, my facial got rescheduled. I'm just like sounding really high maintenance, like it's really hard, but they all got rescheduled for like just like the same couple of days. And obviously I work for myself, so I can kind of switch things around. But typically I like to have like one appointment like every other week. So it's not like too much at once, but for some reason everything collided together. So I feel like I've just been doing appointments and doing work, to be honest. Like that's all I've kind of been up to. My sister has officially lived here now for 2 weeks, so we've been hanging out a lot. We watched the Love Island finale together, and we went out last weekend to Old Town. And let me just tell you, like, I cannot party or drink like I used to. I am such a in bed by 9 p.m., 10 p.m. girly at this point. Like if I'm up later than 9, 10 p.m., like I am going to feel it the next day. And especially if I have a few drinks. So yeah, last weekend was really fun though. We went out and had just a couple of things. We had dinner and it was yummy. We like to go try new places. There's just so many restaurants here in Arizona that I'm very much so like a person that gets stuck in my rut and my routine of going to the same spots every single week. And it's always good to venture out. So we went to a new place in Old Town called La Loconda. I will say it was good food, but kind of a weird vibe. It was a little bit quiet in there and it was kind of giving like airport decor and like I don't know. I was going to say the best way possible, but not really. But it was a good restaurant. I will say if you are going for the food and not the vibe, I think it was a really good place. Gracie said that her dirty martini there was a 10 out of 10. And I had one too. I would say it was like an 8. 8.5, but it was solid. So if you're looking for a dirty martini and you somewhere to go out in Old Town for dinner, that was good. And then afterwards, we went to a couple of other different drink spots and just hung out. And we met up with a couple other girls. So that was super fun. So that was pretty much the only like crazy thing I did this last week. And then this week, me and Gracie had our cats meet up, or cats. I don't have a cat. Who am I talking about? My cat or my, am I okay? Her cat and my dog. That's why is that such a tongue twister? I don't know. But Archie and Yeti met up. And I've been thinking about this moment for weeks, months, years. I was so excited for this moment to have them meet up because Archie has never encountered a cat before. I was like, what is he going to do? My hypothesis was that he wasn't going to know like what to do with it. And he was just going to be kind of like confused and like try to play with him. But anyways, we walked into Gracie's apartment because obviously we're going to go over like where the cat is because that's like his home. But I walked Archie into the apartment and Yeti literally tried to like escape and climb up the wall. that was his first reaction. We're like, oh great, this is going to be amazing. Like they're literally never going to be friends. And then Yeti just kind of went and hung out in Gracie's room for a while, and we finally lured him out. Archie was definitely growling and barking because that's his go-to thing, like with any dogs. I love him, but oh my gosh, like when we're on walks and stuff, like he tries to bark at humans and dogs, and I think it's just like a protective thing over me. I don't think that it's like he hates dogs. Like he goes to boarding and he's totally fine. He does doggy daycare all day. He passed the report card test as far as like aggressiveness towards dogs. Like he's totally fine with that stuff. But it's like when he's with me, he gets like kind of defensive because he doesn't want me to get attacked or whatever. So he was definitely on the defense with Yeti and trying to like growl at him and stuff. But then he discovered like, oh, he's no threat. And he tried to go like run up and play with him. I just let him off the leash at that point. So I'm like, okay, it's like evident that he's not like here to try to like kill the cat. But he like ran up to Yeti, and Yeti hissed at him and pawed him. So then Archie was so terrified and he wouldn't even go near him. So it's a work in progress. I think eventually they could potentially become friends, and that would be fabulous. But for now, we're gonna have to just ease into things with them. But it would be lovely to have her be able to watch Archie from time to time, and vice versa. So anywho, I'm hoping that things will go good for them. And also Archie got a haircut and he's just like shaved to the quick and he looks like a deer right now. So I don't really blame Eddie for being a little bit scared of Archie, but yeah, that was kind of like the highlight of my week. Honestly, nothing else too much is going on. Just working out, grinding, appointments, work, all the things, and still freaking hot here. I went golfing yesterday. I went just to hit balls for a second as my movement for the day, and I was sweating in 30 minutes. But this weekend, I'm going golfing, so that will be fun, and I'm hoping I don't absolutely melt. But I need to get my golf game up because in a couple of weeks, I am going back home to Utah, and we are going to probably go golfing and stuff. And I don't want to completely just suck. So I'm going to be working towards that. But anyways, that is kind of my whole weekly catch up / 2 week catch up. Nothing really to report. I have just been in a work hole watching reality TV at night, cooking, doing all the fun adult stuff that there is. But let's just dive into my chat on Ozempic / any sort of like GLP-1s. This isn't just Ozempic. I know that there's a lot of other things that women and people take to lose fat. And if this is something that you don't know what it is, if you live under a rock, basically Ozempic is a weight loss medication that people take that causes them to lose weight at a pretty rapid rate. And I'm not going to claim I'm a doctor. I'm not going to claim I am an expert in Ozempic at all. Like this is purely just my thoughts and feelings on it as a health and fitness coach. Because to be honest, like, yes, it is a threat, I guess you could say, to like the coaching industry because it is another quick fix that's on the market. And if you could inject, something in your body and lose weight, like that is something that people have been wanting to come on the market for years. So I don't really blame people for having a little bit of curiosity and the allure that Ozempic has. Like, I think that, to be honest, like losing weight, it sucks. Like we all know, like it's not fun to be in a deficit. It's not really fun to work out and be doing a ton of cardio. Like if I could just inject something and there was no negative side effects and it could just be down 10 pounds, I would love that. But at the end of the day, like there are cause and effects to everything that we do. And I think that honestly, like Ozempic, there is a time and a place with the right care and direction. Like I think it can be a great tool. And I think there's a lot of people that this drug is really going to benefit. So this is the last thing I want to do in this episode is say like Ozempic's bad and I hate it and whatever. I could totally say that because it is something that is a threat to like my job and what I do. And it's kind of against like what I preach. But I think that with everyone, and this is what I teach my clients as well, is that everyone is so different. And some people, like being on Ozempic could be life-changing to them. And like, who am I to rob them of this modern medicine thing? For me, for my clients, it's not something that I will say you should go do this, but there is a time and a place where I think that it could be beneficial to someone. So I just wanted to get that off the table of like, if it's going to be something that changes your life and you really feel like this is the last resort, do it. Where I have an issue with people is that they abuse it. And they maybe are just like 5 to 10 pounds out from their goal, even 20 pounds. And they haven't really done a lot as far as like eating healthy goes or working out. And they just decide, I'm just going to hop into the quick fix. And I think it's not really like the whole Ozempic of it all. It's more of the quick fix of it all that kind of drives me a little bit crazy, is that people will just try it as another thing or another fad, when in reality, like, there are a lot of health implications and potential like long-term effects that we don't even really know yet from Ozempic, that, with someone that has a goal to lose 5 to 20, even 30 pounds, I don't think that should be something that they're considering as like a first resort. Like, if you've tried eating healthy, working out, tracking your macros, working with a coach, and still that's something that maybe isn't happening, then like potentially, or if you've been addicted to food your whole life or whatever. Obviously, I'm just kind of laying out a couple of examples, and there's a ton of other people that have experiences and valid feelings of going on Ozempic, of course. But my issue with it is that people think it's just another thing to be like, oh, I need to lose 5 pounds, I'm just going to go on Ozempic. And I think that that does a lot of negative things, especially just for someone's mindset and just like long-term wise. So when it comes to Ozempic, and if someone is considering it, because I've been on calls with women that are like, I'm thinking of either joining your program or doing Ozempic. And obviously, like, whatever's going to be best for them, I want them to do. But what I will tell them is like, hey, have you crossed all of these boxes already? Have you done a program and had someone actually hands in, like, go on and look at like what is going on with your metabolism, your hormones, your schedule, and like really truly create a plan? Because I think a lot of people have gotten just so burned out by diets that they're like, you know what, nothing's worked, I'm going to do Ozempic, when they haven't actually found something that is like actually a lifestyle. A lot of the women that are doing Ozempic, they've been the chronic dieters, Beachbody, Optavia, these boot camps and keto and all, and they've tried all these quick fixes that they jump into another quick fix that is potentially like really damaging to their health, and something that they have to then rely on for the rest of their life. And that's where I have the issue, is like, if you haven't crossed that box of having something that is a lifestyle and really working towards having a healthy lifestyle, you're going to continue to struggle with this even after Ozempic. And that's really like where I have an issue with it, is what are you going to do after it, right? Like, you can stay on it forever, which debatably, I mean, we don't really know like what that looks like forever. And I'm sure there are studies and stuff that they have done on like the long-term effects of being on it. But I think a lot of women are on it right now and they're fearful of coming off. And when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, I never want to be dependent on something, whether it is a drug, or a mindset or something. Like, I want to be able to be independent of these things. So the fact that people are getting on it and like feeling like they need to stay on it forever, like that's kind of like sad and scary. And as far as like what to do after it, like, that's something I have really thought about as a coach, is helping women potentially reverse these side effects from Ozempic afterwards. Because from my standpoint is that if a woman does Ozempic and they rely on it and they don't change any of their habits, they don't learn about nutrition, they don't learn about exercise, when they come off of it, they're just going to go right back to old ways and then gain all the weight back plus some, like any sort of fad diet. And so what I'm kind of like thinking about in my mind, I'm just like speaking out loud to all of you guys, but when a woman comes off of Ozempic, I think having an exit plan is so, so, so important. Like with any diet, this isn't just Ozempic included. Like, you need to have an exit point for your metabolism and an exit plan for that. This is why a lot of people do diets and gain the weight back, is because their metabolism is so effed up after those things that they end up just like gaining the weight back plus some. So that is something that I've been kind of toying around with, is like helping women that maybe have made the decision to go on Ozempic, either regretted it or is the best thing ever, but now they don't know like what to do after it. So that's something that honestly, I'm really excited to work with some women on that. And if you're listening to this and you're maybe on Ozempic, or you are wanting to come off of it, or thinking about going on it and coming off of it, that's something that I'm honestly excited to work on with women, because I don't want women to feel like they need to stay on it forever. I want to help women like build a healthy lifestyle so that way they can come off of it and not gain the weight back. And in order to do that, you have to have a plan that is going to take into account your metabolism on Ozempic. On Ozempic, you're not eating as much. So your metabolism is down regulating. Yes, you're in a deficit. Yes, you're losing weight. Yes, it's great, whatever. But afterwards, you need a plan or else you're going to gain all the weight back. And I think that is where a lot of the rebound effects that we're going to experience in the next year and what we're going to see from women coming off of Ozempic is that. And also to the implications of muscle loss. When a lot of women are on Ozempic, they're not properly fueling their body to keep muscle on their body, and they're not properly weight training. So what happens is that they tend to lose a lot of muscle and a lot of body fat at the same time. And so it can be pretty damaging to their health and their overall just like muscle tissue. And when they get sometimes to their like goal weight on Ozempic, they're like, wow, I still feel like kind of like skinny fat almost. And I like hate that term, but like that's where a lot of people get, and a lot of women I've talked to on the phone have gotten, is that they've done Ozempic, but now they just feel like they're just like a smaller version of themselves and just kind of like flat and kind of like flabby almost. And that's where having the right like workouts, if you're on Ozempic, is very important. And I think a lot of people are missing that. Like in a perfect world, what I would love for women to have and the support, like if they do choose to go on Ozempic, I would love women to have a health and fitness coach that was automatically assigned to them when it's like a mandatory thing when they get on Ozempic. Because if a woman got on Ozempic and they were working with me, I would be like, perfect. We are going to make sure that your metabolism does not get so downregulated and so effed up that you can't recover from this. We're going to make sure we're not losing so much muscle that you are just a tiny version of yourself that's flabby and doesn't like their body even when they do lose the weight. And for health reasons too, right? Making sure that you are fueling your body, and so that way you don't come off of Ozempic and you're just malnourished. There's so many different things that happen, and I wish that when doctors, and maybe some doctors do like prescribe Ozempic and they give them an RD and stuff, and that could be honestly something that they do, and I'm just like completely uneducated and I need to like go do some more research about this. But I think everyone's experience is a little bit different. I have heard people just going to the doctor and them just saying, hey, go get on Ozempic, and using it as a band-aid for other things that are going on. And a lot of it is just the root of not truly understanding what a healthy lifestyle is, not understanding how they can balance their hormones through fitness and nutrition and not just go on Ozempic to lose weight as a band-aid. My issue is with it is just like it being a band-aid, and the doctor is not prescribing it as something that's like last case scenario. And it's something that's more like, oh yeah, we'll just throw it at you and give it to you, and then just hope for the best afterwards. Like that's where I have the issue. Certain times and instances, I think that it could be very useful and honestly life-changing for people. But I think for the mass majority, women have not unlocked what it really means to live a healthy lifestyle and haven't understood that like you don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to do these things in order to lose weight. And your metabolism is probably just so messed up from all the diets that you have been doing for the past 10 years. And you need someone like me or a lot of my colleagues in this space that are all also amazing, that are here to help you build a lifestyle. And yes, I will be honest, like it is the harder route. Like taking a drug and losing weight is easy compared to what you have to do with building a healthy lifestyle. But long term, that's where that pays off, because you get off Ozempic and you got to do it anyway, right? So you might as well learn how to do it the healthy way, or get off Ozempic and learn how to do it the healthy way actually this time around. So anyways, that's kind of all my thoughts and feelings on it. I think that there's going to be a big opportunity in this space, and that's something that I'm opening up my heart to, is like, if you are a woman on Ozempic that is embarrassed to like ask for a coach's help because they're like, well, I was just on Ozempic, like I can't ask, like reach out to me. I am literally the metabolism coach, the metabolic makeover girly. Like that is my program's name. And I think that in the metabolic makeover, it's going to probably consist of a lot of women that have experienced this before. And I am excited for the opportunity to work with women that have been on Ozempic, come off, and want to now build this like lifestyle. And sometimes when you get a taste of what it feels like to be fit and healthy and stuff, it makes you want to keep going. So that's just my opportunity for you to reach out if that's you. But I think in general, just kind of keeping your mind open with this stuff and knowing that it's a lot more common than people think. I think it's obviously out there, and a lot of people have been seeing in the news and stuff like Ozempic and whatever. But just from my like literally like boots on the ground with hopping on calls with women and talking with a lot of women in the DMs and stuff, it's more prevalent than you think. So I think that we just need to have a big collective conversation of like, okay, if you do decide to do it, no judgment. What are we going to do after? Like, how are we going to build a healthy lifestyle regardless? Because at the end of the day, no matter what diet you do, how much weight you lose, like you need to have that healthy lifestyle to maintain that long term. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what I want for everyone. If you lose weight and you choose to do doing Ozempic, that's totally fine with me. I will not, necessarily recommend that to my clients, and I'm going to take a totally different approach to that. But different strokes for different folks. But I think at the end of the day, I want to work towards that end goal of living a healthy lifestyle for everyone. And that takes work, and that takes a lot of mindset and psychological determination and working with someone to help them. So anyways, I'm going to stop ranting because I have been going on about this now for about like 15 minutes, but I think this is something that's going to stay around. I think it's going to be around for a while, for better or for worse. And I think there's an opportunity to help women through this, whether it's before they decide to go on it, or it's, they've already done it and it's after. Either one. Here, my DMs, Abbie is a safe space for women struggling with weight loss or metabolism or whatever. But I do strongly suggest, like before hopping on it, really asking yourself, have I done everything in my power to live a healthy lifestyle and gotten the help to do so as well? So anyways, that is my whole chat for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And I will chat with you all next week. Bye.